Hello everyone. Welcome to this session. We're in a new chapter that is map work. So this is a new chapter in geography. So we'll start with the concept of maps. So here we'll see various meanings pertaining to maps. So let's dive into it. Introduction to maps. Now let's see the various definitions of the map. A map is the symbolic representation of the selected characteristics of a place, usually drawn on a flat surface. So this is the first definition of a map. A map is just a symbolic representation of a given place, showing specifically the selected characteristics that you want to show, basically on a flat surface. And the selected characteristics can either be various physical features or other, etc., just presented or usually drawn on a flat surface. So that's the first definition of a map. The other one, that a map is the drawing of a particular area such as a city or a country or a continent, showing its main features as they would appear if you would look them at the from the above. So this is the other definition of a map. A map is just a drawing of a particular area, can either be a city, a country, or a continent, showing its various main features as they would appear if you would have observed them from above. So that's the other definition of a map. Now, a map also can also be defined as is the visual representation of an entire area or just a part of an area, typically represented on a flat surface. So this is the other definition, whereby you can say that it's the visual representation of a given or any entire area or just a certain part of an area, typically that is represented on a flat surface. Now, a map is also can be defined as is the symbolic depression, emphasizing relationships between the elements of some space, such as objects, regions, or themes. Now, also, you can say that a map is the representation of an area of the Earth's surface on a flat surface, such as paper, wood, board, card, plastic, cloth, or some other materials. Now, when we talk about map reading, here this is the process of examining the given topographical map, conventional symbols, and signs. So this is the definition of the map reading. It's just the process of examining or analyzing the given topographical map, uh, obtaining and looking the various symbols and signs given to that given map. Now, map interpretation. This is the process of examining a given topographical map of an area represented for the purpose of identifying the geographical information of an area. So here is the other meaning of, the meaning of the map interpretation. Map interpretation simply means the process of examining and viewing the topographical map of an area presented simply for the purpose of the identifying the geographical information that can be seen within a given represented area. And when we talk about the map work, this is the study and the analysis of maps, especially prior to or in relation to the field work. So we've seen the various definitions related to the map. Now let's see that the work of a map is to illustrate the specific and the detailed features of a particular area. Mostly frequently used to illustrate the geography. So that's the main concept or the purpose of the maps. Maps, they simply attempt to represent various things like political boundaries, physical features, roads, topography, population, climates, natural resources, and the economic activities. Now, let's see this cartography. Cartography, this is the study and the practice of making maps. So this is the study and the practice of trying to create and mark and making of these maps. So this is the study, this cartography. Now, cartographer, here are talking about a person who draws or produces these kinds of maps. Now, let's see the types of maps. The classifications of maps is simply based on the purpose for which each map is being drawn. So the purpose of a given map can simply, you can simply know the kind of a map due to its purpose that that kind of a map has been drawn for. Now, therefore, can be maps, they can be categorized into three types as follows. The first one is the sketch map. There's atlas map or wall maps and topographical maps. So here are the main kinds of the maps. Now, starting with the sketch maps. The sketch maps, these are the maps drawn from the observation rather than from exact measurements. So these are just drawn sketching just how a person views a place. So they are just drawn not considering the various exact or accurate measurements of a given area and representing the main features of a given area. So they're just there just to present the main features of the given area without considering their measurements. While the atlas maps are known as also the wall maps, a collection of different maps that have been bound together in one volume to form a book. So atlas maps are just maps that are drawn within a book, collecting various different kinds of information from the given area. Now, these maps are usually drawn to scales. Take an example showing town and cities, hills, mountains, valleys, forests, countries, etc. The third kind of map is the topographical maps. The topographical maps, these they show selected physical and human features in an area and their positions on the ground. For example, the hills, the village, mountains, lakes, ponds, and rivers. So these are the topographical maps. Now, let's see the various components or the various essentials of a good map. A map is a good map if it contains all the essentials of the map. Therefore, essentials are just the good qualities of the map. And the essentials of the maps are as follows. The first one is the key. So each map has to contain a key. A key, this is the list of the symbols and the signs with their meanings as used in the map. It appears in the box at one of the bottom corners of the map. Now, when these symbols and signs are given in the key, it becomes easier to interpret a map and get accurate information from it. The second component is the title. This the other component or essential of a good map. It shows the topic or the subject matter of the map. So it usually gives you uh, the the identification of the map. Now it gives the name of the area which the map represents or the features represented on that map. The name of the map, it enables the user to read and interpret the map easily. So it enables the person to identify like what kind of a map it is. The other component is the north direction, or you can simply say as the compass. This is the indication of the north direction. So this is the one that shows the north where it is, and by knowing the north, one can know the directions and bearing of the compass, I mean of the place. The other component is the margin. This is a boundary or a limit around the map. It gives or shows the reader and the interpreter, the one who interprets the map at the end of the map. So the margin or the boundaries are the ones that show the limit where the map has been drawn to certain kind of the ends. So it helps the interpreter and the reader to know the endings of the map. The other component is the scale. It shows the relationship between the map distance and the actual distances. For example, 1 centimeter to 10 kilometer means that 1 centimeter of the map, it represents 10 kilometers on the ground. So the scale, the other main component or the essential component of the good map, as is the one that shows the relationship between the ground distance and the map distance. The other component is the latitude and the longitude or the grid references. It's used to locate the places on the map. So you can simply locate the places on the map by using these latitude and the longitude, or also known as the grid references. The other part is the publisher and the date publications. This just helps to show the map when it was produced or when it was published. So I hope that's all clear. Thank you for listening, guys. We've seen the concept or the introduction to the maps. We've seen the various definitions of the map and the various uh, common terms related to the maps with their definitions. And then we've seen the various types of the maps. We've seen there are 3 of them, and we've covered the various essentials of the good map. I hope that's all clear. And thank you.